Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Gavin McKenna is a Leaf! But you already knew that. Leafs drafted him first overall at the 2026 NHL draft. But now he signed to a contract, and that's very important on account of you can't play if you don't have a contract. But the fact that he does have a contract and a cap hit now matters. Let's talk about it. Here's the release. The Toronto Maple Leafs announced today that the hockey club has signed forward Gavin McKenna to a 3-year entry-level contract. McKenna, 18, recorded 51 points, 15 goals, and 36 assists in 35 games with the Penn State Nittany Lions. You could have just said Penn State, right? With the Nittany Lions during the 2025-26 season. It goes on to talk about his WHL totals, talking about the goofy numbers that he put up in the WHL, and I like when the Leafs do that because we have access to WHL footage, and here we're going to show the same Gavin McKenna goal that everyone shows you, and I want to see it again because it's so ridiculous. Here, let's watch it.
Get onto the rebound. He'll have a 2-on-1 shorthanded with speed. Pacheco the trailer. McKenna, what a move. Gavin McKenna, mastery from Gavin McKenna. Highlight of the night. Short-handed wizardry from the White Horse Wizard.
Now, that's all great and that's all well, but what matters is the money. What is the money? Let's ask producer Chris. Nope. Sorry. Reporter Chris, producer, that's been a while. CJ said Gavin McKenna signs his entry-level contract with the Leafs and receives the new maximum allowable under the collective bargaining agreement. So that's $1.025 million, then $1.075 million, then $1.125 million for the next 3 seasons. That is up to $1 million in Schedule A bonuses, and up to $2.5 million in Schedule B bonuses each season. And why is that relevant? Well, there's a couple reasons. Number one, you might remember that 10 years ago, how was it 10 years ago? In 2016, the Leafs drafted Austin Matthews first overall, and then Lou Lamoriello just didn't sign him for a while. And Lou Lamoriello didn't want to pay bonuses, but here's the problem. The first overall pick always gets the bonuses. Lou, I know you're Lou, but if you could dial back the Lou for just a second. Matthews got them and then became Austin Matthews, and we were all grateful and it was lovely. But the reason that I roll my eyes at the Schedule A and Schedule B bonuses, and a lot of Leaf fans made the same joke and same memes online with those, is it didn't go so smoothly with Mitch Marner. As the 4th overall pick, he wanted certain bonuses, and he didn't get all those bonuses. And then 3 years into his NHL career, his agent used that as a big, giant sticking point. And the ensuing fight basically killed a dynasty before it even had the chance to begin. And somehow, people are like, the media's the bad guy. We don't need to get into all that right now, Steven. There's therapy for this. In fairness to him, he needed every dollar he could get. He's living on pennies these days. Sorry, what I meant to say is he has gone on to earn $161.4 million since then. Well, you know, it's subjective. Sorry, I'm never going to stop being mad about that for the same reason I'm never going to stop being right about it. But anyway, Gavin McKenna. The bonuses can make it confusing with McKenna, like, okay, that's the amount of money he could get, but what's his actual cap hit? And it matters because right now the Leafs are currently over the cap, and there's more nuance to it, but we'll get there. From Puckpedia, the cap hit is $1.075 million, but the AAV is $4.575 million. How does that work? You could be forgiven for not knowing how it works because it's been a very long time since the Leafs had a player who had these kinds of bonuses. Basically, Gavin McKenna's cap hit is $1.075 million, so a little under $1.1 million. What if he hits his bonuses? No. That's his cap hit. $1.075 million against the cap. Now, if he hits all his bonuses, he still gets that money, and it counts against the cap, just not this year's cap. It counts against next year's cap, or it gets pushed to next year, unless the Leafs have the room to absorb the cap hit. Otherwise, it can be pushed to the 2027-2028 season for accounting purposes. Now, Puckpedia hasn't updated yet to have Gavin McKenna's cap hit on it, but right now, before McKenna's on there, the Leafs are $127,382 over the cap. They just signed for a bunch of guys. Adding Gavin McKenna's cap hit, by my math, would put the Leafs $1,127,452 over the cap. Extra concerning because Emil Andre, who the Leafs just acquired from the Philadelphia Flyers, who are axe murderers apparently. Anyway, the Leafs just acquired Emil Andre from the Philadelphia Flyers. He is a restricted free agent who still needs a contract. But oh no, the team's already over the cap. There are several potential solutions there. Number one, maybe the Leafs move off of a contract like a Dakota Joshua, for example. Dakota Joshua makes $3.25 million this season and next. And I've kind of wondered that because when he was healthy with the Leafs last season, I liked him. I like that player. He had some lulls where he wasn't very effective, but his effective stretches were very good. But in a lot of the roster previews that I've seen people putting together, like what the Leafs lineup looks like, Steven Lorentz isn't even in the lineup. And that's not even taking into consideration that Bo Grew, who was spectacular when he was with the Leafs and then went down to the Marlies and won a Calder Cup, Bo Grew might not even make this team. Like, Leafs could lose him to waivers at the beginning of the season, and I don't really like that. Should I be getting super worked up about that? Probably not, but I hate it. If you're able to get value for Dakota Joshua and get out from under that cap hit and replace him with other guys who are also good in that role, just cheaper, maybe you do it. There is another solution, and it's not fun. It's sad. It's genuinely sad. Max Domi and his $3.75 million cap hit, according to Puckpedia, are still on the books. Max Domi recently had surgery on his back, and it does not sound like he's going to be healthy to play for the beginning of the season. I'd be very surprised if he played this season. I don't know. Unless I hear something very different and very surprising, Max Domi, I imagine, begins the season on LTIR, and that would free up $3.75 million, or it would free up the space that the Leafs potentially need. Hey, here's the good news, and John Chaika has seemingly said this loud and clear with the moves he has made. He's not Brad Treliving. He's not Kyle Dubas either. Like, it sounds like he's making moves, 1,000 of them, and also, like, remember the Leafs would sign guys to PTOs, like pro tryout contracts, and then they would sign the exact dollar value up to the cap so that the Leafs could get the max out of the cap. I'm not sure the Leafs are going to have to do that, and also they're actually going to make moves. I highly, highly, highly doubt that John Chaika is here on July 3rd, and he's just like, you know what? I'm done. Let's wait over 2 months and like go to camp with this. He's going to keep finagling. Who knows? Like, maybe they're nuts and they throw in an offer sheet for Pavel Mintyukov because the Ducks are so screwed. They're so screwed. And if you'd like to hear more about how the Ducks are screwed, go to the SDPN YouTube channel because I talked about the Leo Carlsson offer sheet, and it sure sounds like Pavel Mintyukov is going to get an offer sheet as well. What about Cutter Gauthier? Cutter Gauthier is not eligible for an offer sheet. And that is what everyone's tweeting. Imagine what he's going to get. You know what he's going to get? Not an offer sheet. He's not eligible. Mintyukov is. Here's what I like, though. 2016, the Leafs drafted Austin Matthews. We were really happy about that. And then weeks and weeks and weeks went by, and he wasn't signed. And it did get to the point where it got a little weird. And I'm not going to lie, it threw the vibes off a little bit. Then he scored 4 goals in his first game, and none of us cared. But that was a thing. I remember it specifically. Don't tell me it didn't happen. I was there. John Chaika got this done July 3rd, dude. July 3rd. It's the first overall pick. Let's not overcomplicate this. Here you go, Gavin. That's all you had to do. Thank you. John Chaika, man, I don't know what this team's going to be like next season, but he's checking a ton of boxes. that I'm happy about. And I'm excited because the last 2 general managers, you were able to predict what they were going to do. Dubas was very predictable in that you knew the types of moves and players he liked. Brad Treliving was very predictable because he wasn't going to do anything. But now we got old Johnny Wildcard in there, and I gotta tell you, I don't know if it's going to make the team win a lot, but it is fun. Aren't you having fun? This is what a face is having fun looks like. I'm having fun! Anyway, are you having fun? Let me know in the comments down below. For now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really like to. Tell your friends. Holy Toledo. So much content on this channel. So much content on the SDPN channel. We had a new podcast yesterday. There's so much. You are not going to miss hockey as long as we are around. We got you covered.